From my home to yours, Merry Christmas. This is going to be my final message before Christmas. Indeed, the final message of 2022. Our team is taking a break, and I pray God's richest blessings upon my co-workers. Of course, I pray great blessings upon you. And I'll look forward to connecting with you again, Lord willing, in early January. In the meantime, if you have, let's say 7 minutes, I think I'll put them to good use. If you don't, no worries. Post your prayer requests in the comment section before you slip out, and we would be honored to pray for you. You know, when I reflect on the Christmas story, I often picture how Hollywood would recast it. You see, in the New Testament, Joseph's collar is way too blue and Mary is green from inexperience. The couple's star power doesn't match the bill. Too obscure they are, too simple. The story warrants some headliners, a square-jawed Joseph, someone in the vintage of Clooney. And Mary needs a beauty mark and glistening teeth, Angelina Jolie-ish. What about the shepherds? Do they sing? If so, perhaps Bono and U2. While Hollywood would recast the story, a civilized person would sanitize it. No person, however poor, should be born in a cow stall, hay on the floor, animals on the hay. Don't place the baby in the manger. The donkey's nose has been there. And don't wrap the newborn in rags. I mean, they smell like sheep. Speaking of smells, watch where you step. A good PR firm would move the birth of Jesus to the big city and see what Roman palaces they might rent, what Greek villas they could lease. The Son of God deserves a royal entry, right? Less peasant, more pizzazz. Out with the heads of sheep, in with the heads of state. Shouldn't we ticker tape this event? Well, boy, you'd think so. Let stallions prance. Let trumpets blast. Summon some emperors from ancient thrones and palaces not yet built. Abraham and Moses should be present. They should be there to kneel at the manger. Even Adam and Eve should come to Bethlehem and bow before the Alpha and the Omega, whom Mary holds, don't you think? But we didn't design the hour. God did. And God was content to enter the world in the presence of sleepy sheep and a wide-eyed carpenter. No spotlights, just candlelight. No crowns, just cows chewing cud. God made so little of his Son's coming. He didn't even circle the date on the calendar. Ancient Christmases bounced from date to date before finally landing on December the 25th. Some early leaders of the church favored dates in March. For centuries, the Eastern Orthodox Church celebrated Christmas on January the 6th. In fact, some still do. Only in the 4th century did the church choose December 25th as the date to celebrate Jesus is coming. We've made bigger deals out of lesser comings, haven't we? How could this be? No exact date of birth, no hoopla at his birth. Is this a mistake or is this the message? Maybe your life resembles a Bethlehem stable, crude in some spots and smelly in others, not much glamour, not always neat. People in your circle kind of remind you of stable animals, grazing like sheep and stubborn like donkeys. And that cow in the corner looks a lot like the fellow next door. And you, like Joseph, knocked on the innkeeper's door, but you were too late or too old or too sick or too dull or too damaged or too poor or too peculiar, and you know the sound of a slamming door. So here you are in the grotto, always, it seems, on the outskirts of activity, and you do your best to make the best of it. But try as you might, the roof still leaks, the winter wind still sneaks through the holes you just can't seem to fix. You've shivered through your share of cold nights. And you wonder if God has a place for a person like you. Find your answer in the Bethlehem stable. The story of Christmas is the story of God's relentless love for us. Let Him love you. If God was willing to wrap Himself in rags and drink from a mother's breast, then all questions about His love for you are simply off the table. Now, you might question His actions, decisions, or declarations, but dear friend, you can never, ever question His zany, stunning, unquenchable affection for you. The moment Mary touched God's face is the moment God made His case. There is no place He will not go. If He is willing to be born in a barnyard, then expect Him to be at work anywhere. Bars, bedrooms, boardrooms, and brothels. No place is too common. No person is too hardened. No distance is too far. There is no person He cannot reach. There is no limit to His love. When Christ was born, so was our hope. This is why I love Christmas. The event invites us to believe the wildest of promises, that God became one of us so that we could become one with Him. And He did away with every barrier, every fence, every sin, every debt, every grave. Anything that might keep us from Him was demolished. He only awaits our word to walk through the door. Invite Him in. Escort Him to the seat of honor. Pull out His chair. Clear the table. Clear the calendar. Call the kids and the neighbors. Christmas is here. Christ is here. One request from you, and God will do again what He did then. Scatter the night with everlasting light. He will be born in you. Listen as God whispers, no mess turns me back. I live to live in a life like yours. Every heart can be a manger. Every day can be a Christmas. And that's your heart. And that's your life. And that's the love God has for you. Merry Christmas.